Hey everyone, thank you for joining us for our newest season of Prep Rally, a podcast focused on Catholic schools in the Diocese of Phoenix. My name is Brian Cannon, and I am your Prep Rally host today, and I am really excited to be here. Before we begin, I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, Catholic Education Arizona. Thank you for sponsoring this podcast as well as the beautiful work you do across our state to support Catholic education. On this episode, we have Gianna Andreadis from Xavier and Griffin Lauer from Brophy talking about how their schools foster positive mental health. Welcome to you both. So happy to have you in studio. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good.
It's good. It's great to be here.
Good. We're getting the wiggles out. We're ready to go. We got our fidgets ready to go. Going to talk some mental health.
Yep.
Cool?
Awesome.
So let's learn just a little bit about you. So name, grade, and a specific fun fact.
Yeah, I can go first. I'm Gianna Andreadis. I go to Xavier. I'm a senior. And fun fact about me, I love to travel. So
Where?
last summer, I went to Italy, Greece, and England, which was really great. Oh, and Germany.
Oh, of course. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. What was the favorite place out of all those?
I really loved London. It was just so great. And then Germany, too, because my grandma, I went to her hometown. So
Well, that's pretty cool. Family connection going on.
yeah.
Right? What do you think?
Yeah, then I'm Griffin Lauer. I'm a senior at Brophy. And a fun fact about me is that I was top 0.1% in the nation at Chipotle eaters. So I love Chipotle.
How do you even determine that?
It's
That
Chipotle
feels like a
rewards
lie.
app. Yeah. No. 3 or 4 times a week for a couple months.
What's the order?
You got to go with the chicken bowl. Chicken bowl, black beans, and white rice.
No tortilla.
No tortilla.
Some people go for the double wrap. No?
No, not me. Just bowls.
Straight up.
Yep.
Purist. I like it. Okay. So, so the Xavier Gators.
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously named after the Gators that live in the canal adjacent to campus.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So tell me about Gator Link, because we're talking about mental health.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's your jam.
Yes. So Gator Link is Xavier's friendship club, and we really just want to promote kindness and friendship across the campus. I saw, as growing up at Xavier, there's just been a big divide between upper and underclassmen. And so we really want to encourage other grade levels to mingle, which has been an issue. So for the past 2 years, I've been working with them to try and create more connectivity with the grade levels. And this year we got our new program approved for Big Sister, Little Sister thing. And we're really excited to start it. And we really hope this just kind of builds that connectivity and a support system for everybody involved, like their buddies involved. We hope that it's a great support system for them.
Now, if you were getting in the Wayback Machine,
Yeah.
back to freshman year,
Yes.
what would meaningful connection mean to you?
I think freshman year is really hard because you're coming to this new school where you seem so small because you're 13 years old, and it's just a lot of work and a lot of new things. And I really wish I had a senior buddy or a junior to kind of navigate me through that. And so I really would hope that this program brings that to some freshmen or sophomores who are still trying to navigate Xavier.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have a lot of giftedness to give.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, you go through high school, you learn, sometimes you take some hard knocks along the way, right?
Yeah.
But there are some nuggets of wisdom, right, that you would love to have the opportunity to share with another person. So what does it do, I think, for the upperclassmen to have that opportunity to give back?
I think it also is just great to, share the wisdom you've learned. We know we've learned a lot of things about, certain teachers or about certain classes or
The intel.
the intel or the rally stuff. And I think it's just great to be able to pass on the knowledge and the tradition to new students. So
Yeah, that's fun. What are some maybe fun things that you've done as part of the program?
for Gator Link, I think some fun things. Every meeting, every first meeting since my sophomore year, we've done friendship bracelet making. So we had our first meeting last week, and every time we make friendship bracelets, and then we give them to people we never met before. And I think it's just a great tradition to start the club off. And that's one of just my favorite ones.
That's great. So I heard also that you were a part of getting the Teen Lifeline information on the back of the IDs.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that.
So last year, my brother goes to a public high school, and in their district, every single student has the Teen Lifeline resource on the back of their IDs. And I saw his laying around the house last year, and I was kind of wondering why we didn't have that. And so I spoke to a counselor, and we ended up actually getting it approved to print out stickers and do it put them on the back of them. And then this year it is now printed on every single student's ID.
Wow, that's incredible. Yeah. It must feel really good to be able to have a voice that's listened to and heard. Tell me about like the leadership at Xavier College Prep and how they really value what's going on in the students' hearts and minds.
Yeah, I think they really foster us to become leaders and pursue excellence. And they really are open to our ideas. We have over 80 clubs in sports. And I think all those clubs started with one person saying, wow, that'd be cool to do at school. And I think they're very open to our ideas and what we want to do.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Griffin, let's get you into the conversation here. How are things at Brophy these days? How are things going?
Yeah, Brophy's great. Seniors been awesome. Lots of great teachers, lots of great friends. The campus is just amazing. Great community.
What are some of the traditions for seniors in your community that you get to participate in now?
So upcoming, we got fashion show, prom and homecoming as usual. Something that's great to always do is show out to football games. It's always great going out to watch your friends. So really looking forward to the rest of the year. Yeah.
Nice. Now, you are the president of something called Hope Squad,
yes.
Which I love that you got squad goals, I assume, right? So,
yep.
So what's Hope Squad?
So Hope Squad's actually a national organization that we recently switched to last year. We came over from Active Minds. It's a peer-to-peer led initiative for mental health awareness and suicide prevention.
Nice. I think that peer aspect is really important. I do mental health advocacy here in the Diocese of Phoenix. And I was recently on a ride-along in Chandler with one of their community navigators. And what they do is they go out and do some homeless outreach, people who are unhoused, people who may be having substance abuse or addiction issues that are out on the street, no resources, right, out in the heat. And he goes out and finds them, right? And what he's able to offer them that I could never offer them is he's able to say, I've been there before. I've been unhoused before. I've been addicted before. I've been out on the streets before, right? And that carries with it, I think, some real weight that a person who doesn't have those experiences can't really share with somebody. So what does being peer support mean to you in that environment, that high school environment, to be able to reach out to another student like that?
Yeah, so our approach as Hope Squad and really Brophy as a community is that peer-to-peer is really being a student for another student. So the man for others, as Brophy says, we want that connection to be fostered. A person who is struggling with their mental health is 10 times more likely to speak to another peer than rather going to a trusted adult. So I say us as Hope Squad really hones in to have that peer-to-peer connection so that we can refer them to a professional resource.
Right, because you're not diagnosing anybody, you're not treating anybody, right? You're getting them to the help that they need, right? Yeah, yep. Which takes a lot of the burden off, because I think sometimes we just know what to do, right? And you might encounter that at Xavier too. It's like there's sometimes like there are situations that kids go through that it's like beyond our capability. So it's so important to connect them to resources and to take that responsibility, because it's a big responsibility, right? So what kind of training is involved with being a member of the Hope Squad? Yeah,
so through Hope Squad, through the national organization, we get training modules that we do. We integrate them into our curriculum during our community/club programming periods. So we really focus on the curriculum. The main three things are QPR, which is question, persuade, refer. When we do that, we have question is to really hone in on the issue itself. Are you struggling with mental health? Sort of stuff like that. And then persuade, we want them to sort of speak out, not necessarily about themselves, but about how they're feeling and what they could do to sort of like figure out what they're grappling with. And then refer is we want to get them to sort of like resources as fast as possible, just so that we can help this individual with what they're struggling with.
That's awesome. And it's really the model of church that we're being asked to adopt, right? That Pope Francis started this idea of the synodal church. Well, he didn't start the idea, but he introduced many more people to the idea of the synodal church, which is a listening church, a walking alongside church. And that has continued under the pontificate of Pope Leo, just the idea of accompaniment, right? That we're all in this together, that we're one body of Christ, lifting up one another, supporting one another. And I would love to hear about some other things that happen on your campuses that are accompaniment, that are support.
Brophy is obviously a place that fosters community. So we really try and focus in through masses and our community peers, just spending time with each other, developing that one-on-one connection with not just the students, but the teachers and faculty as well. So I'd say community and having that one-on-one connection is it's extremely important to what Brophy is as a whole.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think Xavier is a really great fostering community. We all try to connect with one another, and I think Gator Link also helps kind of build that connection with other students, at least we're attempting to. And I just think our little traditions like rally days are such a great moment for us to connect and just kind of be like, wow, we are all into this together and we're all going through the same stuff.
That's awesome. Yeah. It's such a time of personal growth. I'm sure that you can reflect back to the person that you were walking into your institution versus the person that you are now. And then you fast forward into the person that you're going to become, right? The next phases, right? So maybe talk a little bit about what being involved in mental health and support has meant for you personally in terms of your own growth.
Yeah, I think for me, just it made me become more like have more empathy for people. You know, you never know what somebody's going through. And Sister Lynn always teaches us like LBF, let's be friendly, always smile at every single person you pass by on campus because you never know what that smile could do for somebody. And so I think Xavier really does foster just kindness, and it has helped me personally grow, you know, to always smile at other people because you never really know what somebody's going through at home or in their personal life.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And that's not just at school, that's in every single walk of life, right? Because it can be really easy to be quick to judge somebody in the situation that they're in, but you don't know their story, right? Yeah.
From my freshman year, it's been a long time, but I'm sure I've matured and grown as an individual through sort of just being more considerate of others. I really think that Hope Squad has sort of helped me foster a sense of almost resilience. The fact that I've been able to have this community around me of everyone striving for the same goal to be one and help with others has really had a positive impact on me. I like to thank my faculty, Dean Pigeon, Colin Feeney, who are some of the staff that work alongside me with Hope Squad that really helped change me into the man I am today.
I'm glad that you mentioned them because one of the things I really was interested in is who you're going to shout out, right? Because none of us does this on our own, right? We're all members of a team. We're all members of a family, a body of Christ, right? So in terms of mentorship, especially in the mental health space, who's really stood out to you in your journey in high school?
For me, I think it's Miss Vidia, and she's a counselor at Xavier. She is the one who helped me get the Teen Lifeline stickers on the back of the IDs, and she's one of the moderators for Gator Link. And she's really been so supportive of my ideas and making them happen. You know, the Big Sister, Little Sister program, making that happen, making the Teen Lifeline sticker program happen. And I just want to thank her because none of that would have happened without her.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, Dean Austin Pigeon and Dr. Colin Feeney have worked with me to going into my junior year. I was the last member of Active Minds. And so along with them, we recruited new members and we really got this going. And I also like to shout out Mr. Gil Martinez, who is my counselor my freshman and sophomore year. And he really helped me going through some tough times to help me and realize that this is where I want to be, where I am with Hope Squad. So yeah.
You were the last man standing, right?
Yep.
You made it happen, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So we'll now go into like the tips and tricks and life hacks kind of section of our conversation. So there might be students watching this that are feeling a little bit overwhelmed, that are feeling maybe a little bit anxious or feel depression creeping in related to their high school experience. What do you think are some of the practices or attitudes that people can bring to the high school experience that are going to help them out a little bit?
Something they really hone in is to take time to reflect. And I really believe that just taking at least 10, 15 minutes out of your day, no distractions, just sitting there, just thinking about just life and just how you're, just take time to really promote your mental health above all else.
Now, how do you do that? Like, if you were going to take some time, like, are there kind of steps that you take when you do that?
So when I do it, I usually either go outside or I go to my room, clear away distractions like my phone or just anything else that I might just check to see. So I just clear everything else away and just like sit down and just chill.
Nice.
Yeah.
There's something to be said for just chilling. Yeah. Nice. What do you think, Gianna?
I think sometimes, especially in high school, you kind of lose yourself to all the work you have to do. And I know I've experienced it. So for me, like my biggest tip is just to like set aside a couple hours for yourself, like maybe once a week or once a month, to just do something you love. So for me, that looks like I would set aside 2 hours to put on a podcast and bake something and do something I love.
Oh, what are you baking?
It depends on the season.
Does it?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
If it's fall, I'm doing something pumpkin related. And if it's Christmas, I'm doing Christmas cookies.
What do you think that you've learned in your high school experience in terms of being in tune to your mental health that are going to help you on your next steps in life?
I think probably taking mental health days. I know schools sometimes are like, oh, don't miss school. But I know like sometimes you just need a mental health day. Just take a day off.
Mm-hmm. I've often heard that if you want to see what somebody really values, you take a look at their calendar.
Yes.
Right. And so when you really can't miss something, you get it on your calendar, right? Or you put an alert in it. And so I see a lot of value in, well, if you really value yourself, and I live and die my calendar, right? Like I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow if I don't have my Outlook calendar ready to go. But maybe if it was that important, I'll go ahead and schedule me.
Yeah.
On there, right? And I think that's wise because, you know, whether your next steps are the workforce or university or whatever, however it happens to work out for you, to really take the initiative in saying, I'm going to be busy, but not too busy for me.
Yeah. Sometimes people won't set aside time for you. You have to set aside time for yourself.
Right. Yeah. Nobody's going to do it for you.
Yeah. Nobody's doing it for you.
Right. And in order to love other people, who do you have to love first?
Yourself.
You got to love yourself first, right? Yeah. What do you think next steps?
Yeah, I'd say that I definitely, in the future, I'm going to be swamped with whatever I'm up to. So I'd say just prioritizing like my well-being, just having that up there, just in the back of my mind at least, to know I'm just going to make sure myself is okay. So sort of just making sure I'm all good with what I'm doing and making sure that I'm not getting to the space where there's too much going on.
Yeah. Sometimes I put it off because I'm like, this is a very busy season. Let me just get past this time and then I'll be able to take a breather. But it's never past this time, right? There's always going to be other challenges. I'm a parent, right? So there's never the perfect time to take care of yourself. It's always going to be inconvenient, right? So I think that's really good advice that you guys give. All right, patron saint time. Now, I know often in Catholic education, you are asked to identify a saint that you identify with. So who's your favorite saint? That's not what I'm asking you. No. Prepare yourselves. If you were the patron saint of something, what are you the patron saint of?
Yeah, I'd say this is a hard question, but I'd say something I really love is cars. So I'd say I'm the patron saint of cars.
Okay. So in your holy card, St. Griffin.
Yep.
Patron saint of cars, what are you behind the wheel of?
I actually drive a Jeep Cherokee,
And you're keeping it?
We'll keep it for a little bit.
Okay.
We'll see where it takes me.
Okay. I went down to El Salvador once where St. Oscar Romero was martyred. His car is still parked right where he parked it.
That's really cool.
That's wild. Yeah. What do you think?
For me, it'd probably be baking because it's a distressor for me and it's probably one of my favorite things to do for myself. So I'd probably be the patron saint of baking.
Okay. And in the holy card, you were holding...
chocolate chip cookies. That's my classic go-to.
Okay. Do you brown the butter first?
Yes.
Okay.
The brown butter chocolate chip cookies.
Is there any other kind of like secret tips and tricks for a good chocolate chip cookie?
Make sure your butter is room temp. Like, don't try to put it in the microwave. You got to make sure it's room temp.
You cannot rush.
Yeah. You can't rush.
You cannot rush the chocolate chip cookies. Well, I think we've learned a lot. I want to thank you so much for joining us and for this conversation. So awesome. Thank you so much, all of you out there, for joining us for this great conversation about our Catholic schools. And thank you to our sponsor, Catholic Education Arizona, for making this podcast possible. I hope you enjoyed joining us today. And if you did, please make sure to share this podcast with others, like and subscribe, and comment below what you want to see on future episodes. Make sure to check back with us each month for our newest episodes of Prep Rally.